Hi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How are you all doing? So, we're on day three. Oh my goodness. It's so. I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited about this. So, this is the third day of our 5 day family reset session. And for the past 2 days, for day one, day two, we've been talking about how you can reset your family. We've spoken about the importance of having a family reset. We've spoken about the importance of having a family vision, core values, and also reviewing your existing structures, routines, and systems to know if they are serving you and if these systems, routines, and structure will take you to that promised land. That is your vision. Today, we're talking about something very, very important again. And this today we're talking about setting or creating goals. Yes, creating goals that will align. So in case you notice a lot of gaps yesterday, after yesterday's sessions, and you notice a lot of gaps, today's session basically is just to create goals to fill in the gap, to fill in the gap so that you can still go ahead to create and go ahead to meet up with your family vision. For those of you who are just watching and you're wondering who is this beautiful woman, my name is Oluwatoyin Ogunkami. Yes, I'm a family psychologist. I work with parents, I work with adolescents. I work with family members to create a thriving life. I provide them with tools and resources. I provide them with evidence based psychological intervention to help them to communicate better, connect well, and also to live a thriving life. So, you are welcome to today's session. So, what are we talking about today? Today is all about setting those goals, those goals that would help you to meet up with your family, those gaps. So, those gaps you've noticed from yesterday's session when you did your review, today you have to create goals on how to meet up with that family vision you've set. So as you're joining, I'd like you to type where you're watching from. Tell me where you're watching from. Let's have some conversation. I don't want to be the only one talking. So tell me where you're watching from. And yes, I'm here. I'm excited to have you here. And I'm excited also to share quite a lot with you. So while we're waiting for one or two more people to join, can just go. What are your expectations for this session? What did you enjoy from session one and session two, day one and day two? Today is day three. So let's go. So today we're talking about how we can set those goals, how we can set clear goals for each family members and also for the family as a unit. So with your vision clarified, with you being able to assess your current system, day three is all about focusing on setting meaningful goals, that will bridge the gap between where you are at now and where you want to be, where your family is now and where you want your family to be in the future. Now, these goals are going to provide you with direction, motivation, and measurable progress for both you as an individual, maybe you have as a parent, or your family members as individuals, and also the family as a whole. So today we'll be looking at individual goals, we'll be looking at family goals. We'll be looking at how we can align your family goal and your individual goals so that you can have synergy, you can create synergy, in your family. So when we talk of individual goals, these are personal visions that honor each member's unique journey and growth. While the family goals, these are the collective objectives that require cooperation and shared commitment. But before we go into individual goals and family goals, I would actually want to define what a goal is. I know we've heard that word, goal, goal, goal. But what really is a goal? I like us to look at that. And when you talk about goals or goal, a goal is let me start with what a goal is before I go to what family goals are. A goal is or goals are clear intention, what you want to do, or targets, right? That guide your actions, that guide your decisions and priority, and they give you a sense of direction, gives you focus and purpose. Now, as individuals, as family members, as a family in a unit, we all need this clear direction, this focus, because it will help us in achieving the things we want to achieve as a family. Now, when we talk of family goals are those shared objectives that the entire family are all committed towards achieving, right? And we want to achieve this together. Now, your family goals most time reflect your values, your vision, and a desired way of living. So at the beginning of the year, I asked my husband, so what goal or what have you a vision for the family as a whole, right? He told me what I did mine. I asked all the children, what are the goals for this year? What are the things they are aspiring to achieve this year? And I collated everybody's goal, and I now brought out a shared and a common goal for everyone in the family. So that is something you can do as a family. Examples of family goals could be, oh, you want to improve communication, want to reduce conflict. Oh, we fight a lot in this family. I think it's high time we now stop fighting and learn to communicate effectively. That can be a family goal. Another family goal could be, oh, well, let's establish consistent routines. The way we're doing things haphazardly doesn't make sense. Based on your assessment of yesterday, based on you assessing your systems and your routine yesterday, you might have identified that, oh, maybe we don't have consistent um routines. So that can be a goal for the family, establishing consistent routines. Another goal for the family could be, let's spend quality time together. I noticed that we all do things, like for example, like my home now. I have two of my children out of the one is already working in Lagos, the other is still in school. My daughter, so it's like we're all apart. So a goal could be like, oh, let's create periods when we all come together as a family and spend quality time together. Then another family goal could be, oh, let's build the spirituality of our family. Let's pray more. Let's read the Bible more. Let's do more of devotion. That could be a family goal. Another family goal could be, oh, let's increase our financial discipline. Let's save more, or let's support our children's academic and emotional goal. But it's very important as family to ensure that you have a goal, a common task, or a common objective that you all share and that you're all committed towards achieving. Now, when we talk of individual goals are personal goals set by each member. Remember, I said I asked each of my children to send me their goals. Let me see what they're working towards so that I work as the accountability partner. Yeah. So individual goals are personal goals set by each family members, and these goals could be set based on their age, their role, where they are right now in terms of their developmental stage of developmental need, or also in terms of their ability. So, for example, the person in university say, "Oh, I want to do well in university." Person working say, "Oh, I want to start some professional exams." The person in high school say, "Oh, I want to graduate from high school with good grades," right? So depending on their individual developmental stage, their age, or the role, your children or family members can actually set their individual goals. And as parents, it's very important for you to guide them, especially if you have children who are younger. You can actually guide them in setting these goals. Don't let it be like, oh, it shouldn't be like, oh, you're the one setting goals for them. You should guide them in setting goals for themselves. And this would also promote independence and also promote them becoming more responsible individuals. When they have goals and they know that, oh, I'm going to work with mommy towards achieving this goal. Because I'm going to work with mommy, I'm going to work with daddy towards achieving this goal. I have to be responsible. I have to be able to do what I need to do to achieve those goals. So that's on individual goals. Now, the question now is, so part of the things you could ask them in, or some prompts you could give to them when they want to set their goals could be, oh, who do you want to become? What do you need to work on personally? What are the things you need? So even as parents too, who do you need to become for your children? Or what do you need? What is that thing you need to work on personally to make you an effective person? Do you want to work on personal development? Do you want to work on your goal as a parent to be able to manage stress properly? Does your teenager want to work on the academics or character goal? Or does your child want to improve in being responsible and independent? But the most important thing is that healthy families allow individual growth while maintaining a collective unity. And that's why I said that when you have your individual goals, when you have your family goals, you should be able to align all these goals together to form a synergy so that you all grow as a unit in the family. Now, why do we need to set goals? Why are goals important? It's very important that as family we set goals. Why we set family goals? Because number one, it creates unity and also give you a shared sense of purpose, meaning that we're all working together towards the same direction. That's one reason why we need to have a family goal. Another reason we need to have family goals is that it strengthens the connection between family members and also builds teamwork. Yep. When you work towards a common goal, it builds that cooperation and that trust between the children and the parents, siblings, because you know that you guys are doing things together. Another reason for setting family goals is that it provides structure and direction. Remember when I started about defining goals, I said these goals are things you work towards, right? Like gives you like a sense of focus and direction. When you have a family goal, it helps family to move towards thriving, towards intentional living and away from chaos. So when in the family you all are working towards something, you all know that this year we have to achieve effective communication, or this year husband and wife we want to save enough money so we can either buy a car or buy a house. That is a collective goal. Or we need to save more, so we need to minimize waste in the house. That's a collective goal. Then another thing that having a family goal, another thing it does is that it improves accountability and responsibility. Each member understands that they have a role to play in achieving this family goal, and they would have to contribute towards the success of that goal. Now, for parents, when we have goals together with our children, it actually model healthy life skills for our children. Our children would also learn how to plan, will teach them discipline, it teaches them perseverance, and also teaches them responsibility. So a family without a goal will definitely drift apart. But a family that has shared goals would stay together and guess what? And grow together. So, what are the obstacles? What are the obstacles or what are the barriers to family setting goals? There are quite a lot of barriers. I remember when I started my journey into goal setting. Prior to a particular period, I used to set a lot of goals. I've set goals. At the end of the year, I just realized that, Kai, I didn't achieve these goals. What happened? And it became like a burden to me that, why is that every year I'll set goals, I don't achieve my goals? What's happening? Then I had a discussion with someone, and the person asked me just three questions. The first question is, when you set goals, Do you write them down? Do you write them down in a place that you can see every day? I was like, yes, I write them down. But when I write them down, I keep them in a book and I put the book somewhere. And I put the book somewhere, She was like, no, that's a mistake. Then the second question she asked is, these goals that you've written, have you been able to break them down into actionable, achievable steps? I was like, no, I've never done. I just set goals and that's it. She was like, that's another reason you're not achieving your goals. Then the third question she asked is, when you set these goals, when you've written them down, when you've broken them down, have you been able to have you been able to transfer them into daily activities? And I was like, no, and she was like, yeah, that's why you're not achieving your goals. So it's very important for us when we set goals, number one, to be able to write the goals down in places you can see. Yeah, you need to be able to see your goals. Number two, you should be able to break your goals down into smaller, actionable steps. Then, number three, you need to be able to bring those goals into your daily life. So, I always give this example when I have sessions with my patients or my clients. I say, so for example, your goal is to save, let's say, 10 million naira in a year, right? And let's say you have 10 months, because January, yes, you're still settling down. December is Christmas, party and all that. So let's say you have 10 months of the year to achieve that 10 million naira. What would you do? So the first thing is you need to break that 10 million naira into the 10 months, right? And that will give you 1 million naira every month. You need to save 1 million naira every month to be able to achieve 10 million naira at the end of the or $10 million or a 10 million naira at the end of the year. Yes. Now every month you have to save 1 million. Now we have 4 weeks in the month, right? So if I had to divide that 4 weeks, 1 million naira by 4 weeks, what do you have? I brought out my calculator. So you have 1 million, 1 million divided by 4, you get 250. I don't know if you can see 250,000. Yes. Now this 250,000, that's for each week. You have to be able to save 250,000. And let's say you work 5 days in a week. So you divide this by 5. So that means every day you should be able to save 50,000 naira for you to be able to achieve your 10 million naira goal at the end of the year. And that's basically what it is when you're talking about goal setting, right? You break your goals down into actionable steps. You should be able to break it down into activities you can do every day. So, for example, you want to write a book. Excellent. How many pages of book do you want to write? Or maybe I want to write a book of 200 pages. Oh, that is nice. When do you want to write this book? Oh, I want to write the book at the end of, so we're in January, right? So let's say you're giving yourself January, February. You want to publish this, you want the book to come out by March, publishing and all that. Oh, great. So what do you need to do? How many books, how many pages do you need to write every day? So maybe, okay, maybe I'll write, so January and February, that's 60 days, right? So let's say you're writing a book of 120 pages. So meaning that 120 pages divided by 60 days, that means you have to write 2 pages every day. So can you see how I've broken down that big goal of writing a book of 120 into 2 pages every day. So every day you ensure that you write 2 pages, and guess what? By the end of February, your book should be ready. You use March to do the printing, the publishing, and by the end of March, guess what? You would have produced your book, and that is how it is with goal setting. Now let's bring it to the family. How do we set goals in the family? Okay, I was talking about barriers to setting goals. Okay, so before I go to how to setting goals, let me go back to barriers to setting goals. So I said that the coach asked me 3 questions. Number one, do you write down your goals? Number two, do you break your goals down into actionable steps? Number three, do you do you bring your goals into your daily activities? And I said no to all three questions. So there are lots of barriers to creating goals or setting goals in the family. Number one, lack of clarity or lack of vision. You remember our first day was about vision, right? If you have a vision for your family, if you know what you expect of your family, guess what? Creating goals for the family will not be difficult because you have a vision. So, number one barrier to creating family goals, lack of clarity and lack of vision. So a family that operates in survival mode, you're just doing things anyhow, you will not be able to achieve anything. Second reason families do not have goals or are not able to set goals, poor communication. So you have unspoken expectations, which leads to frustrations, and this leads to resistance. So it's very important as family members that if there are things you're expecting, if there are goals you want to achieve together, please communicate. Have the communication. One of the systems we spoke about yesterday was communication and having a time when family come together to talk. Maybe you have like an open house day where everybody comes together to talk, and that is where communication sets in. Without communication, guess what? You will not be able to achieve any goal. Then the third barrier to goal setting in the family is inconsistency and lack of follow through. Oh my goodness. I think that's one area I was struggling with, lack of follow through. But when you are able to follow through, when you're consistent, and that's why I said I had to become my children's accountability partner. I asked them to send their goals so I can also follow through, right? When you don't follow through, guess what? Those goals will not be achieved. And it's important as parents that we follow through. We set goals for our children, we set goals with our children, and we follow through with them. We ask them questions. Oh, what do you think? How far have you gone? Or you're writing your project, what page are you on your project? What chapter are you? If you don't follow through with them, there are times that these goals might not be achieved. And it's not you micromanaging them, it's just you being an accountability system for them. Then another reason goals are not achieved is when you have unrealistic goals. When you have, there's nothing wrong in dreaming big. In fact, with the training I did with adolescents last week in December, launch 2026, right? One of the things I told the adolescents is that you need to dream big. But when you're dreaming big, also remember that you need to put structure in achieving those big dreams you want to achieve, right? So there's nothing wrong in dreaming big. However, when your dreams are unrealistic or when they're overly ambitious, guess what happens? It leads to overwhelm and also leads to discouragement. And finally, resistance to change. When when people are comfortable with their old pattern and you're now creating new patterns. Maybe one of the goals for the family is that, we're going to be healthy, we're all going to do exercises, you're all going to walk every morning, you're going to do walking every morning, maybe 30 minutes walking. Because people are used to sleeping late, they might resist that change, right? And it's normal. But guess what? You can be able to walk through it to help them. By the time you sell the benefit of that goal to them, when they're able to see the benefit of the goal, and it will help them to take away the resistance. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is how do we now set this goal. I started by talking about what the goals are. I spoke about what family goals are. I spoke about what individual goals are. I spoke about importance, why we need to set these goals. I also went to talk about the barriers to setting goals. Right now, I want to talk about how we can set effective family and individual goals. First thing first, have a vision. Where do you see yourself in the future? Where do you see your family in the future? That's, in fact, the best of first way when it comes to setting your goal. Have something. You need to be clear and specific about what you want. Avoid vague goals like Or I want to do better. What does that mean? Or I want to be rich. What does that mean? Or I want to be comfortable. What does that mean? You have to be very clear and specific in the goals you're setting. And you can only do that by when you have a vision, something you're working towards. Then your values. Clarify what really matters to you in the family. Because if you don't have values, you have visions, you don't have values, and you want to set goals, guess what? Those goals, you won't be able to achieve those goals because those goals might not be important to your family members. So, what is important to everyone? Is faith important? Good. That means you can set spiritual goals. Is personal development important? Excellent. That means you can set goals in terms of personal development and also set goals in terms of discipline. Is respect important? If it is, great. That means you can set goals around character. But when these values do not align with your goals, or these values do not align with your vision, it will be difficult for you to set goals and achieve those goals. Then you have to ensure that everybody is involved in the decision making process. So, not that some people are setting goals and some other people are not part of it. That is where resistance comes in. So, everybody should be involved in this goal setting process. Where you guys come, we want to set goals for the family. What do you guys think? What area do you think we need to improve on? What area do you think we need? Come together as one, right? And set these goals together. Because if you don't involve everybody in setting the goals, there'll be no commitment and there will be resistance to change. Then the next is breaking down these goals into simple action. Do you remember that thing I said when I said that the coach asked me that, do you break down your goals into simple action? I was like, no, I don't. Now you need to do that. Break down the goals into simple actions. When the goals are large, let them be broken down into daily, into weekly habits. This is when the goals will be achievable. And finally, set timelines. Set timelines, and you can review, either set timelines and have reviews. Maybe you review every quarter, every week, every day. Because if you don't do this, you're just, it's those, what you just done is just mere wish. But when you set goals and you have broken them down into smaller pieces, you've been able to um you've broken them down into smaller pieces and you're able to follow through. And following through is you reviewing weekly or monthly or quarterly to be sure that the goal or those goals are achievable. So I can see we have some more people joining. As you're joining, please tell us where you're watching from. Let us know where you're watching from. Okay. So one of the things you need to know that when we set goals, there's power in setting goals. There's power. When you set goals as family, it serves multiple purposes. I spoke about the reason or the importance of setting goals. But one of the things that it gives everyone agency and ownership. When we set goals together as a family and we've given responsibility to everyone, it gives them a sense of ownership that, yeah, I belong to this family. I can achieve X, Y, Z. It gives them agency and ownership. And not just that, when we have a family goal, I said this earlier, it gives us a sense of direction. It builds cooperation, teamwork, because if we can work together as a team in the home, it will be easier for them to work as a team when they get to school or when they start working. Also gives us opportunity to celebrate ourselves for every milestones achieved. It's an opportunity to celebrate. Oh my goodness, oh, we achieved this, oh my goodness. And the most important thing we have to understand is, when it comes to your personal goals, when it comes to the family goals, there should be something known as alignment. There should be a balance. Don't sacrifice your personal goal for the family goal, and neither should the family goals be sacrificed for individual goals. So you should be able to come together. Remember what I said, you should be able to align your goals for the success of the family. So, do we have questions? Do we have questions? So we'll be stopping here today. I said a whole lot about how a goal setting. I started by talking about what a goal is. I went to talk about, so I started by talking about what a goal is. I spoke about what family goals are. I spoke about what individual goals are. I discussed the importance of having family goals. I spoke about barriers to family goals. And I also I ended up by talking about how we can come together to create a family goal. I remember we're talking about family resets, right? So if the goals you set last year, you were not able to achieve them with what I've discussed today, I'm sure you'll be able to identify the reason you were not able to achieve those family goals. So those are the barriers. Either the goals were not properly or clearly defined. There was lack of communication. There was resistance. There You were not able to break down the goals into achievable steps. All these are barriers to goal setting or to achieving goals. So if you listen to me and if you did the review yesterday, you'll be able to identify the reason for you not achieving the goals you set last year. And with the explanation I've given today, you guys can be able to come together as a family and set a goal for yourself. So I'll be stopping here. Tomorrow is day 4. Tomorrow we're going to talk about something interesting again. Then Friday, we'll be rounding up on Friday. And for those of you who are watching and you're wondering, how can I do this? I need support. I need support. I can't do this alone. I need somebody to guide me. That's where the parenting support system is there for you. That's why we created the parent support system to provide adequate support for parents. And we have a program that we're starting next week, Parent Connect. This Parent Connect is a transformational coaching program for parents, and I work with 20 parents every quarter. Why do I work with 20 parents? So I can work with them one on one and guide them and help them in achieving their goals. So if you want to be part of this Parents Connect, please send me a message. Let me see if I can send the link. Where is this? Okay, I'll post the link after the video so that we can register. It's for 30. So the Parents Connect is a 12-week program for parents where I work one-on-one with 20 parents. Query. I don't do more than 20. I don't have the capacity for 20, more than 20 for now. And it's like a premium transformational coaching program for parents who are either C suits parents or parents generally that they know they're busy, but you still want to live a intentional life. You want to live a deliberate life. You want to be part of your children's life, and you want to raise them right. Please just click on the link. I'm going to post the link after this video and register for the program. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been here. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow is day 4, and we have some awesome. I have another interesting topic I'll be discussing tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice evening. Bye.